morning. This is on Wi-Fi, so it is going to cut off and then it will reconnect in a minute. Yeah. All right, now we are back on. Good morning, Assalamu alaikum, and all those things. How are you doing? Trust you are well. Don't know, started my day, my hair up, but now I'm not sure if I want my hair up. Feels so much better. Good morning, how you doing? You can be so much more, so much more. That's my title. Many of us, depending on where you grew up, depending on your family circumstances and dynamics, have got baseline expectations that are so low. A lot of us think that we must be employed, and that's the only thing. Many of us are employed in low skill jobs. Yeah. You see, ages past, that was probably true. Yeah. Training was expensive, it was difficult, it was inaccessible. You needed to be from a certain class in order for your parents to be willing to pay for a university education, or for you to be able to access. If you wanted to become certain professions, you needed somebody in to deal you in. There were gatekeepers, and the gatekeepers were firmly in place. They were definitely looking to prevent entrance. And so, yeah, your parents may have been limited in what they could have done. Your grandfather and mother were even more limited in what they could have done, especially those of us who come from areas where we were colonized, or those who were enslaved. Well, yeah, that is even worse. If you were colonized or enslaved, your opportunities were restricted, critically restricted. And the rhetoric you grew up hearing was not untrue. It is actually true for the times and seasons that the generations before you experienced. But you see, the era has changed. The game has changed. The gatekeepers have lost their place. There is implosion on gatekeeping, and there is now an explosion of access to information. Now, you don't even need to enroll in courses. If you are smart, you can find your own free tutors who will do a much better job teaching you things than any teacher could. They can use rich materials that a human teacher is going to struggle with. They can draw on information sources that a human teacher will not be able to draw on. And for that reason, at this moment, you can learn anything you want on demand. You can have people on one end of the earth teaching you in the opposite end. Things that were incredibly expensive have become accessible to all of us. Right now, you can be almost anything and everything you want. You can work for anybody in any jurisdiction. You can sit in Africa and you can work for people in the West. It's not new. People have been doing it for a long time. Self-employment was out. It was out of range for a lot of us. With what money were you going to start a business? Starting a business used to be capital intensive, because those days the business models in play required capital. Well, even if you want to do trading, the buy and sell model was completely annihilated by the drop shipping model. The buy and sell was completely wiped by the drop ship. People who do drop ship, one, do not have factories. Two, do not even buy stock and hold stock. No, they don't. It is produced on demand with no capital. The drop shipper is a middleman. A drop shipper is a middleman, but there are many drop shippers who made millions standing in the middle. In this era, the issue is your creativity and your willingness to access information. We are actually coming to, well, it's a combination of the information and people era. The information era it's been here for a long time. The people era has been in operation. Actually, we are moving from the people era into the AI era. But to move into the AI era, you will need information and you will need to understand people. So the knowledge acquired from the information era, the information age, and the people era are serving those who want to win in this AI era. You can be so much more. You can be so much more. I went onto a platform a few days ago and they were lamenting the fact that they have no authentic African voices. And I'm like, yeah. For the first time in my life, an African accent is in demand. It's not a thing people laugh at, it's a thing people want. Why? Because there is a whole large audience of Africans who now have purchasing power that people in other places have recognized and are trying to tap into. I use Arab agents, Arab AI employees, because I am in the Middle East and I want to be able to connect with those here. So sometimes I have AI agents who are Arabic based. Yeah. You can be so many things. Me, I can be an Arab woman if I want. I can present myself as a black man, which I do. I can present myself as a Caucasian woman, which I do. I am the force behind it, but the face of it can be many things. In this era, a lot of crazy things are possible. And what if people don't want to buy from a black woman? Then don't present yourself as a black woman. If you think that your audience might be racist, which I hope they are not, but if you genuinely feel that your buyers may be racist and might not want to buy from you purely because of your skin color, well, don't present your skin color. And no, you don't have to. You haven't had to for a long time. There are people I know, black-owned businesses which have Caucasian fronts. I have a friend who owns a makeup brand, but her name is nowhere near the makeup line. It is fronted by an Arabic woman. It has her name on it. It has the Arabic woman's name on it. Yes. You know, you can be anything and everything you can imagine right now. The problem is with your imagination and its limits. The problem is whether you see the possibilities or not. The problem is whether you are still shackled down by barriers and chains which have been broken. I have referred to this recently, but I will refer to this again. There is a very famous experiment done by some psychologists, and it was done with animals and a biro pen. They took an ant and they drew a big ring around the ant. The ant felt that the ring was its barrier, but you and I both know that a pen mark can do nothing to an ant. But that pen mark kept a lot of the ants within the confines of the ring. The ants who had the ring drawn wide around them, who had never crossed the ring, were so afraid they never crossed the ring. They stayed in the ring as if it was a physical barrier. But it was not. It was not. It was just representative. Then the researchers started drawing new rings around the ants. And as they drew the rings, they intentionally drew the ring so that the ant's foot was out of the ring, and they discovered that the ring didn't kill them. And guess what? The minute the ant breached that and realized that the shackles were off, the ring remained, but the ant did not remain. The ant broke free mentally, psychologically. Sometimes your shackles, a lot of the time, the physicals are just the representations. The real shackles are mental. And there are so many of us who are still in mental shackles. I am a black woman. Don't be a black woman then. In this day and age, you do not need to present as a black woman, if that's your problem. And it's well dominated by men. Well, do not present as a woman. Present as a man then, because you can. Because you can present as a man. And if you wanted to, you can actually hire a man to be your COO and you sit behind. Of course you can. There are businesses whose CEOs are not the owners. And now, those who are willing to seek solutions, find them. Those who are willing to find excuses, well, they also find them. They also do. You can be so much more in this era if only you would recognize the opportunity that has been presented to you to be everything you can imagine and more. People told me that it was not possible to remain employed and to run businesses. I have just proved you wrong. I still remain employed. I like the perks of my employment. I need the perks of my employment. So guess what? I take those perks. I do. I do. And then I come back and run my businesses. I do. You cannot do a doctorate whilst you work full-time. I did a doctorate whilst working full-time, whilst running not a business, but businesses. And a lot of those were in their startup phase. The heaviest manpower input period. Yes, I did it whilst also doing a doctorate, which people say is full-time, and then yeah, I did it. Oh, and by the way, I did that also whilst being somebody's wife. Apparently, being a businesswoman and being a wife are mutually exclusive. Who told you that nonsense? That you need to be divorced just because you are running a business? No. Yes, there are affordances and leverages that you would need to be mindful of and get in place, but you do not just have to quit running a business because you want to be married. You can be married and run businesses and remain employed and pursue academia. Oh, and I was a parent to teenagers, getting teenagers through to A-levels and getting them to university. And you know, it's one of my greatest prides. Each of my children has gone through all their examination hurdles one time. No resets, no makeups, one time ask, straight through. It takes a lot of efforts. It takes a lot of dedication. Your eye has to be on the wall to be able to support your children to do that. It cannot be done. Well, I'm just proving that it can all be done. It can be done. A lot of things can be done. The minute you decide that it can be done and you are going to get it done, and you start doing it one small step, bite-sized step at a time, you will surprise yourself. A journey of 1,000,000 miles starts with but a step. One step is what gets you going. One step, it gets you going. The point I'm trying to make in this video is that there are actually no limits to you and what you can do. The excuses you make, are you chickening out? I'm married. You are not the only married person running businesses. That's what I'm telling you this morning. What will my husband say? All our husbands have mouths and they had a lot of things to say. It is up to you to navigate. It is up to you to navigate confidently, with assurance. Yeah. Can you steady? Hey, Doc! Doc is my witness, so there are very few people who actually read my thesis in its formative. That woman is one of the few people who can say that they read my thesis from draft 1 through to all the crazy changes I made and then to its final stages. Yeah. But I was doing those things whilst I was working. I was doing those things whilst I still came on Facebook every day and made a video on my way to work. I was still doing those things whilst I was creating my courses and running my business. I was. And yeah, Doc can be a university lecturer, become a professor, emeritus professor, and all the other things that she can be. She can also run her businesses. Yes, she can still be people's mom. She can be a social advocate. She can be all these things that she envisages she can be. She can, because she's got the capacity within herself to be able to do so. The one thing which gets in most of our ways is ignorance, a lack of knowledge on what can be done, a lack of awareness of how it can be done, and it's an obvious gap in knowing what we can use to get there. What can be done to make it easier? What can be done to simplify processes? Yeah, you can be so many things right now. You can be so many things right now. Financial difficulty should become a thing of the past for most of us if we understood what was happening in the environment around us. There is such a need for knowledge. There is such a thirst for knowledge. And people are looking for those who will provide the quench. And they will pay for anybody who will provide suitable quenches. But here you are, sitting in your corner, limited to just your day job, claiming that you live in Africa and so you cannot enter the dollar. Balderdash. That is utter balderdash. Rubbish. Garbage. You can sit anywhere and work for anyone of your choice. You will need to see who recruits, who has remote roles. There are people who don't even just offer remote. There are people who will help you to relocate. But you've already decided it's not possible based on the rhetoric you knew from the past. Yes, in the past it was very difficult for you to relocate from Africa. But with a certain set of skills, especially skills that are in high demand, doesn't matter if you live in Timbuktu. People will bend over backwards and break their back to get you from Timbuktu to wherever they need you. It is you knowing those skills and seeking those skills and learning those skills, perfecting those skills. That's the thing. Well, but it's not a problem because now we have AI tutors. I was telling my friend who wants to do an MBA, and I said to her, I can create an executive MBA for her within 2 weeks. Personalized MBA for her. My husband is looking for clarity on something around his research area. And so 2 days ago, I sent him an audio lesson. He starts listening to the lesson, and the lesson is referring to him by name. And he calls me straight up and he says, whoa, that was made for me. Yes, it was made personally for him. And yes, I wanted things to be explained in particular ways to suit him. And I wanted it to be done using specific examples, and that's what I did. Yes, that would have taken me hours trying to explain to my husband. But I am able to now leverage these things and I will create an executive MBA for you in 2 weeks. And in fact, you can create your own executive MBA. After all, the best MBA courses have got their course outlines publicly available. All you need is to go to the Stanford one and find the executive MBA, which is renowned, and find the course outline for that MBA. And my AI tutors can mimic it and recreate it and potentially even improve it for you. You do not need to go to any university now to go and do an executive MBA unless you need the title to prove a point. My friend already has a master's degree, so she doesn't need an executive MBA for nothing. She just needs to know how to run businesses, and that's what I was explaining to her. If you need a title, get the title, because the title serves a purpose, by the way. There are certain places that you will not be able to get to without the right titles. So if that is your situation, get a title. But if a title will not enhance in any way, if a title is just going to be money down the drain, and all you need is the skills, the experience, the expertise, you can learn about anything. And you do not even need one human teacher. Yeah, Nia, good morning. Sister Joyce, good morning, Nia. What is it? It's so good to see you. Yeah. My English is terrible. You can actually go, now we do have, there's a program already and more of us are developing more, which is an AI voice coach. And you go on this application and you greet it, good morning, and it will respond, good morning. You are speaking English like a throaty language. English is not spoken from the throat. English is nasal. So push the air through your nose, pinch your nose, and it will give you exercises on things to do. And then you come here, I don't know what to do. It will listen to it and tell you this is not a fight. This is not a fight. There's no need for aggression. The fact that you don't know what to do doesn't mean you come at us with such aggression. Calm down, slow down. Actually, this morning I am delivering a workshop on delivery, speech delivery to my classes. And I'm teaching them the art and science of speech delivery. Yeah. You can also have somebody coach you and teach you like this also to the side. And like I said, you can use a lot of AI coaches now have voice analysis. So they will speak to you and they will analyze your voice and they would listen and they will give you prompts. Hey, your accent placement is too heavy at this point. Try these exercises so that you are able to, try these exercises. You need to temper. You need to be aware of some things. You need to ease off on this one. You need to exert in this place. One of the things I've come to know is that many people do not know how to use their organ of speech. There are two main organs here: the voice cord itself and your mouth, your lips in particular, your tongue, taken as part of that system. Most of you, when you speak, your mouths don't move. You have a flat lip when you are trying to articulate, and you wonder why people don't know what you're trying to say. If something is gargantuan, you are going to have to use your mouth to say gargantuan. You are not going to be able to flatten things out and actually get the word out. Gar, there is an R. Yeah. Gargantuan. There's a U and an A. And many people who say that word will gloss over or make up a sound to replace the UA. Henrietta, how are you doing? Your mouth must move. That's the problem I find with a lot of us who speak English as a second language. A lot of our native languages do not need a lot of lip movement. And so we train ourselves not to move our lips. And when we try to speak the second language, we want to speak the second language the way we speak our original language. But these languages are supposed to be made, the sounds for these languages require movement, lip movement. Good morning. You must. Yeah. Victor, I have missed you, and you and I, we have many meetings overdue. Can you please come and find me? And my Nigerian and West African friends and family will understand this very, very well. And some of us also know how to overdo it. I was working with a Nigerian this week, and she's like, doctor. I'm like, hold on. Listen. You have to go back into the dictionary and look at what the OR sound is. I know it looks like an O. If there wasn't an R, if you did doctor, we might do it. But there's an R there. The R at the end of the O changes the sound a little bit. And so you need to adjust your lip movement so that it's not doctor. You need to ease off sometimes. Yeah. But it's those little things. Once you actually conquer your lip move and your speech. Today, I have no idea what's happening to the internet near the university. The minute I drove in, it's just messing about. Yeah. Please find me, Victor. Find me. Admiral, how you doing? I'm trying to give you many examples to illustrate a very simple point. You can do anything you want. You can be anything you want in the current dispensation. Don't let the confines and limitations of age old predetermine what you think might be possible. Please be observant in the ecosystem. Watch what the smart ones are now doing to get ahead. And please do similar things to get yourself ahead too. Your life matters. This is here. Dahlia, how you doing? No, the healer. No, Dahlia in the first place. Why did I suddenly want to change your name? Hi, Dahlia. All right. Today, as much as I hate to say this, I have got lots of kids to carry, so would you bear with me? So I can wrap up with you quickly and grab all my kids and walk in. Yeah. Hopefully, when I am done on my way in. I would be able to get back in touch with you guys to have a continuation of this very interesting conversation. Alright. I need both arms to carry this, otherwise I'll do my shoulders and my back in. Speak to you later.